Our speaker today is Rev Diane Diachishin, one of ours. She was a music teacher for, 25 years? Many years. She earned her retirement. But she still sings folk music and, in many places, and we love to hear her when she does that. And then she went to the Interfaith Seminary and got her degree to become a minister. So we said, well, please stay with us in that capacity. So here she is.
Good morning. Thank you. Can everybody hear me? Okay. I am the Reverend Diane. My pronouns are she and her. And welcome to this month is Pride Month. There is a wonderful march in New York City this afternoon. I hope it doesn't get rained out. And I heard from my other congregation, the march in New Paltz was really, really invigorating and just a wonderful, wonderful showing of community. I'm going to start with a poem that was often quoted by a beloved congregant of ours, written by E. Markham. And the person who always quoted the poem, her name is Vern Bell. Some of you remember her dearly. The poem was, he drew a circle that shut me out, heretic, rebel, a thing to flout. But love and I had the wit to win. We drew a circle and took him in. Welcome all to this place of love and justice, this place where we attempt to live up to our highest ideals. Do we fail? Often. But do we keep trying? Always. And this homily today will explore how we can enlarge our circle and graciously all who welcome and enter our doors. I'm going to start with a religious perspective. The Baha'i, one of their spiritual readings, when you meet a stranger, say, yonder is coming to me a letter sent by my higher power, or whom they call God. The outside of this envelope may be dirty and torn and broken, but if we could open that envelope, we might look inside and try and really discern the reading, and we can find in every human soul, which crosses our threshold, a message from God. And if we could understand that message, would be a blessing or a benediction for us all. In Hinduism and Buddhism, both have highly structured rituals of hospitality. Hosting strangers and guests alike is one of the 5 central duties of a Hindu homeowner. The 5-fold offering of Buddhism similarly lays out the duty to provide food, a place to stay, and aid to all who enter their doors. And hospitality is a word with a spiritual history, as a matter of fact. Monasteries grew up around the 5th century, and strangers in need could come there for care. The first primitive hospitals, in fact, began there. Hospital, hospice, hospitality, hospitable, all from the same root word, which means generous and caring and sustaining. And over 1,500 years ago, Saint Benedict wrote a short, simple document about hospitality called the Rule. And the Rule was meant for these small monasteries, maybe 15 monks or so. And that was that we see the divine in every single child and adult that we encounter. Father Daniel Homan, in his book, Radical Hospitality, Benedict's Way of Love, says that Saint Benedict's hospitality is not about social graces. It's really about mutual reverence. In our faith communities, it's about accepting those who are different. It's not about judging or condoning behavior. It's really about embracing, welcoming all into our faith communities, and that is an act of radical hospitality. Benedict's rule of radical hospitality has offered a wonderful role model for our own beloved community. It leads to the creation of accepting those who are different, those who are marginalized, and it really is a way of love. Radical hospitality is about preparing a place at the table for all who enter our church. And the preparation says, you are welcome, you are accepted, and you are honored. I saw an example of radical hospitality a few weeks ago in the picnic that Jim Tarvin and Sue Ann Peck had arranged for guests. And it was to invite families who had responded to us just to mention that they might be interested in exploring a bit more what we are about. Sue Ann had brought a beautiful white tablecloth. I don't know if it was white, Sue Ann, but it was beautiful. And laid it out on the table. And Jim Tarvin had gone to the extra mile of finding out what kind of juice Michelle and Steve's kids liked. And of course, it was organic and no chemicals in it. And then he had taken the further step and thought about the adults and thought, well, I think we're going to need lots of coffee. We're going to need bagels. We're going to need maybe some cream cheese. And then he thought about the place. And the place was a beautiful park. And the park had a really nice playground. It had a stream where the kids could play. And it was just a radical, an act of thinking things through and trying to figure out the best way to be hospitable. So I'm talking about hospitality as a spiritual practice. I'm not talking about just opening our doors. I'm really talking about opening our hearts. It's about putting our own assumptions up for examination. And to me, this is the heart of our faith. We do not claim to know the truth, but we do know a way to get closer to the truth is to gather as a congregation and try to figure it out together. New people bring new ideas. Different people bring different ideas. We can either look at this as a threat or as a gift. And over the years, I have seen so many different types of people walk through our doors, and it has been a gift. From scientists to professors to truck drivers to professional race car drivers to home health aides, educators, journalists, poets, writers, musicians. I can't name them all. I do know that my father liked the belly dancer that came through our door the most. And she even gave us a whole sermon on belly dancing. But when you look at congregations that are growing, you see that they are also communities like ours that see each new person who comes through our door as a gift, kind of like a mysterious treasure. And we don't really know until we get to know them the value that they will add to our community. This takes time, and it takes patience and unconditional love and kindness. One constant challenge is to keep reminding ourselves that we are in a community of people that are not all like us. To be radically hospitable is to have a congregational norm that is also radically inclusive, not out of duty, but out of anticipation of how each new person will change us. Another story, if you will. One of the music jams that I attend regularly, about a year ago, a gentleman showed up and he propped his foot up. He had brought a chair with him. He propped his foot up on the chair, and he had this huge cast going from his foot all the way up to his groin. And he had this beat up guitar. The strings hadn't been changed in maybe 5 years. And you could actually see the wood coming out of the middle of the guitar. Well, this man taught me about fear and facing your fear. And he taught me about my fear of heights. It turned out that this man was a world-class athlete. And he had been in Sports Illustrated, one of the top mountain climbers in the whole world. He had scaled all the 7 summits in the quickest amount of time imaginable. And he was the first mountain climber to climb Mount Kinley. So when he taught me about fear, I think about this man that had gone through all these surgeries to pursue his passion. And as a result of it, when I think of him, I think, wow, if Vern can climb all those mountains, I think I can at least get up in this airplane and fly to Thailand. So he taught me a lot. And my point is, all these people that come through our doors, we never really know what gift they will bring us. The theologian C.B. Beale calls preemptive radical inclusion a way of being for our congregations, a way of leading, a philosophy about creating just and loving and creative spaces, and also practices that we will be able to increase our justity and equity in the lives of our organization. So there's 2 things, radical hospitality and radical inclusivity. When we involve others in the creation of our projects and our communities, our we becomes larger. And what we do and how we do it transforms into something new, and we change. And evidence of our success is really not more of the people that come here and our attendance. It's that we have also ourselves have changed and been transformed. So C.B. Beale's challenge to us is to create a community that moves beyond the comfort of our stratified belonging, to open and transform our circles of belonging to everyone into the center. And by stratified, I mean maybe people that have been here longer, and maybe people that are that you may see as kind of calling the shots in our congregation. But stratified means, as like in sociology, different layers or different levels. So as we grow and learn, we have to let go of how we think about some things and really try and think things differently, and how we do things and how we can do them differently. We have to let go of the presumption that it is we who in leadership alone cannot do these things. For example, the board. Belonging to this community of faith is a statement of commitment really to the power and all the possibilities of human life and the prospects for the world of greater peace and justice for everyone. Our commitment to this community and our willingness to explore the opportunities for radical hospitality, for radical inclusion, contributes to making this church community strong and resilient and open to the seeker welcoming and including those who want to be part of the work that we all do together. So as a church, may we always go forward in the power of peace and faith and in love. There is a Kenyan tribe, and they have a welcoming dance. It's called Adamu. And when new people come, the tribe gathers around in a big circle, and they do what is called a jumping dance, where the tribe members jump up and down to see how high they can go. Then they invite the newcomers in the middle, and they see how far they can jump as well. Now, mind you, I don't think Vern Bell had that idea in mind when she always quoted that poem that we should have this jumping dance. But the idea is still there, and I don't foresee any of us going out and having this jumping dance in the near future. So I would love to open this up to the congregation. If you feel so moved to speak, you can speak from your chairs, if you will, about ideas about widening the circle and how you think we can bring people into this wonderful faith community, if you will. So, Marcia, I don't think we need a mic. Well, we might need a microphone for those people on Zoom. Okay.
Then we need a speaker.
Hollis?
Oh boy, I've been here since 1997. And as far as this Unitarian Universalism, what it means to me is inclusion, openness, and one of the things I think we can always widen the circle in this time of very divisive politics and all kinds of other nonsense going on is to believe in dialogue, not diatribe. So we have a welcoming congregation here, and we don't want to keep people out because we're so prejudiced or biased this way or that. That's what Unitarian Universalism has always meant to me, and I hope it remains so.
Thank you, Hollis.
Thank you, Hollis. I'd like to say one of the things that I really appreciate about this place is you get to be whoever you want to be. I mean, it sounds like a fairy tale, but it's true. You're whoever you want to be. We're going to accept you. We're going to support whoever you want to be, and you can be comfortable here.
Thank you. Well said. Patrick? Do you want me to bring the mic? Thank you.
I've been to participants in UU churches, as they call them, in Buffalo and in California and here. And it's always been a delight that no one has ever stood in front of the congregation and told anyone that after they die, they're going to be tormented forever because of what they believe or who they love. And coming to this congregation from, we lived in Silicon Valley and worked there, and the congregation in Palo Alto, it didn't matter whether you are an electrical engineer or a mechanical engineer or an aerospace engineer, all were accepted. And then, you know, coming here, definitely we have a more diverse crowd, so it's good to be here.
I'm just conscious of the importance. I think sometimes I'm remembering when I first came, and I had only my entire life ever been a part of a Christian congregation, but I was married to a minister. So I kind of got it that you and it was just sort of me anyway, that you first greet a visitor. And I think that's still important, you know, not to put down, but I wasn't greeted a lot when I first came that day, so I'm capable of it. So I just started talking to people, and it went well, you know. But and here I am, you know, joined, you know, 5 years later I joined, but it's just important because I think part of what can happen with us, and this is natural, everybody's human, every institution and group is human, is that there's fellowship and community, and people form some good relationships, and out of the goodness of that, you know, we hook up. Oh, I want to talk to you. Oh, how are you doing? Oh, and others can perceive that sometimes as being clicked up, and we don't want to be a clique. We want, you know, Vern Bell was the absolute example of openness, and she came and greeted me, one of the first, and I jumped onto the social justice, you know, committee with her. So really got to know her and love her, as everybody did. But so just that's a very important aspect of the welcoming, is the literal welcoming from the beginning, you know, and like hold off on the others here that you love or want to chide or whatever you want to do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So my name is Anne, and I'm new here. I'm sure you saw our congregation come into your congregation last week, and before that with Jim's picnic that he helped you guys organize. And I just want to say yes, with that very thought, everyone has been so welcoming, greeting me, and I really appreciate that welcome that we felt. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
We are so glad that you're here.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm also new. My name's Laurel. And I find it a touch of the divine here that your homily today is about welcoming. It's the first time I've ever walked in this building, and all of you are saying welcome. So I wanted to thank you for that, and I look forward to making many new friendships.
Oh, great. Welcome. I must say, when I first joined, Athena Drews, who is no longer with us, introduced me to one of a prospective congregant and made the connection that we were both interested in music. And this is what I meant about radical inclusivity. They, about a month later, they had arranged a festival, a music festival, and set up a stage out in the back. And it was a great idea because it not only included myself, but there was like 2 other families that were very musical. So right away, we were able to share what we felt good about, how we expressed ourselves. And those 2 families really ended up staying, besides myself, for a long, long time. So it's about anticipating needs, if you will, of people to make people get more, feel more included, if you will. And we are definitely not like Jehovah's. We are not pushy. But we are. It is from the heart. We really, really do believe in our message and on our faith. So anybody else? Bill?
I'm very proud that these banners are here permanently. To me, that's a big, a very big open welcome. I am going to go out on a limb. I am going to say, devil worshippers? I don't think so.
Yeah, and I must say one thing. Bill and I and Mark Lee did attend GA. The Article 2 was passed by 80%. And we are going to talk about this in August, the pros and cons. And we were not, the 20% we're not the only people that felt very disheartened and disappointed in the decision. So if you want, you can catch Bill and I, at whenever to hear more about it. But Markley's not here. He will be here. Markley is our board president. He will be here in August to talk about this, for those of you who are interested.